Are you ready to go 5 pounds down? Well, today we're gonna tighten and tone with your lightest dumbbells. So grab them and let's go. All right, beautiful bees, let's go ahead and get moving and grooving. Get your dumbbells completely out of the way and let's get started with some arm circles with high knees. You guys, welcome to the workout. I'm Pahla B, I'm your best middle-aged fitness friend. And around here, we are all about making peace with your menopausal body by finding a healthy weight and moving in ways that feel like self-love. And do you know what feels like love? We're losing weight with the 5-0 method, where every single day we do 5 things that make you say, oh, I had no idea it could be this simple to lose weight at our age. Every single day, we're gonna eat the right number of calories. It's not necessarily less than you were eating before. Every single day, we're gonna drink the right amount of water, which is half your body weight in pounds, in fluid ounces of water. Every single day, we're going to get the right amount of sleep, which means that we're gonna go to bed at the same time every night, get up at the same time every morning, and not worry about how much in between that was actual sleep. We're also going to do some arm crunches with booty kickers. We're going to exercise moderately every single day, which is not necessarily more than you were doing before. And the most important thing of all, we're gonna manage our minds about this whole process by finding our thoughts and deciding if they're helpful. And today I have a helpful thought for you, which is one of my absolute most favorite thoughts, therefore feelings in the world. Here it is. I have decided. Do you love that one automatically, or do you have to think about it? I'm gonna tell you about it because I have realized somewhat recently, honestly, I had never thought about it before, is really the thing here. I didn't realize how much I loved feeling decisive. Now, this is a thought that for me, when I say I have decided, I actually feel decisive. So that's the first thing I want you to think about. Like, what kind of a feeling do you get from saying, I have decided? Does that fill you with terror? This is not a helpful thought. Let's go ahead and do some welcome to my homes. If it fills you with a good feeling, for me, decisive, love that one, certain, sure, I love all of those. If, however, this thought does not exactly give you a good feeling, then it's not a helpful thought for you. Don't repeat it. Just go ahead and discard it like this. Just toss it right on out. And my friend, let me tell you really quickly about our workout today. I've got the handy dandy gym boss here. Sit for intervals of 30 seconds of work and 10 seconds of rest. So unusual, right? We normally don't rest, but today, because we have our light dumbbells, I wanted to make sure that we can keep this moderate for you. And we're gonna go 2 by 2. I've got pairs of exercises that we're gonna do 2 times each before we move on to the next thing. And we're gonna get started with low swinging tappers, which is nice and simple. So let's go ahead and grab our dumbbells and get started with that. Low swinging just means that they're not going up over your head, but honestly, your hands could get kind of high up. Really depends on how much you want to do. With 10 seconds of rest. Okay, I really wanna make sure that you don't come into this like, oh, well, if we've got resting periods, that means I have to work harder during the work periods. No, honestly, no, you never have to work harder. In fact, sometimes, frequently, at this age, working harder makes weight loss harder. Your body, my body, our menopausal bodies, here's 10 seconds of rest. Coming up next, we're gonna do a triceps kickback step back, which means that we're gonna start with our hands kind of like at our armpits here, and as we are kicking back, we are stepping back. It's a little bit, your feet are almost like doing skiers here, and your arms are doing a triceps kickback. So this is a little bit more toning than cardio. Today is a cardio toning workout, but honestly, we're really thinking about using our muscles, pulling in our core, getting the right amount of moderate work, which today does include some rest, but that doesn't mean we have to go harder. You guys, the thing about your menopausal body, here's 10 seconds of rest. When it beeps again, we're gonna do those low swinging tappers again. Like I said, we're going 2 by 2 today. So these pairs of exercises, doing them twice in a row before we move on to the next pair. But that means that we never have to come back to this. I mean, not today. You know we're gonna do low swinging tappers again at some point in time in the future. I love low swinging tappers. They're some of my absolute favorites. Here, let me tell you a story. A couple of years ago, I remember inventing low swinging tappers. I didn't invent this. I never had done this type of particular exercise before, and I could not tell you who I saw doing it, where it was, if it was a commercial or another video on YouTube, or here's 10 seconds of rest. We're gonna do the triceps, kickback, stepbacks one more time before we move on to the next thing. Couldn't tell you where it came from. It's a pretty common move. I suspect that literally every other fitness trainer in the world, here we go with triceps, kickback, stepbacks, literally every other fitness trainer in the world has done a move like that. So I claim no copyrights on such a thing. But I vividly remember, because I was still in my 40s, I was still in my like upper mid 40s, probably like 47 or 48. I remember thinking, oh, well, this isn't enough. And it's why I love that exercise now. Every day, in every way, our brains want to offer, this isn't enough. By the way, when it beeps again, okay, we're doing letter Cs. And I'm gonna start with my hands up. I'm gonna start with the one that I know feels awkward. So our feet are actually still just doing those like kind of side tapper things, little Robert Palmers here. But we're making, and in fact, I think this direction, because this feels backwards to me, I think the letter C is when I'm pointing to the kitchen where you can get cookies. That's how I'm gonna remember it. By the way, because we're doing this in pairs, next time we're gonna go the opposite direction. This time we're going all, I think, letter C's. We'll see. Or we won't. Here's 10 seconds of rest. Coming up next, we're doing Sumo X's. So your feet are gonna be almost uncomfortably wide. We're gonna come down in like a little bit of a sumo squat. Only go as low as you feel like. If you don't like doing squats, don't do squats. Just have your booty come back a little tiny bit. As your hands go up, we're completing that letter X. So a little bit of a sumo squat. This is basically a wide papa squat. So we're popping a squat, and we're getting our hands nice and wide here at the top. This pair of exercises, a couple of new things for me today. I have decided that I like to do new things sometimes. Not a lot, not in great volume, but every now and again. I have decided a lot of things lately. Here's 10 seconds of rest. I have also decided that the letter C's, okay, I'm gonna start with my hands up and feet together this way, not the letter C, I believe. And then as we come down, oh, this one feels so much more, oh gosh, okay, weirdly, oh, because I'm going to the right, that's why, because I'm going to the right for me. This one feels totally more coordinated. It might not look like it. I know sometimes it doesn't look like I'm coordinated at all, and that's completely okay. But this one feels a little bit more natural to me because I'm kind of leading the move with my right arm, creating that not letter C, I think. I don't know, 10 seconds of rest. It doesn't matter now because we're completely done. Coming up next, we're doing those Sumo X's again. The letter X, I know for sure which way is the right way because it doesn't go an opposite way. My friends, I have decided that it doesn't matter if I know my alphabet. It doesn't matter if I know what I'm doing at any given time because I'm having a good time and I'm not getting injured, which is always what we are looking for when we are exercising in moderation. We want to make sure that this kind of effort is the sort of thing that you could do every single day for the rest of your life, which means that if your heart rate has come up, like my heart rate has come up, we're gonna enjoy this 10 seconds of rest. Coming up next, oh my gosh, we're doing alley ups. Okay, I apparently put like 3 in a row. So once again, we're gonna have our feet kind of wide. As we are coming over and pivoting, our hands are actually going up and then up on the other side. You do not have to come down into any kind of a lunge at all. I'm bending my back knee like a little bit. Hands, however, coming up like this on each side. Whoo, really getting that heart rate up. So I'm gonna take this down a little bit slower. An alley-oop on one side without your hands swooping over the top. They're just coming up when you're pivoted to one side and then up when you're pivoted to the other. Here's 10 seconds of rest. Okay, thank goodness we're back on solid ground. Coming up next, we're doing oblique crunches. I'm actually a little surprised that I gave myself 3 new exercises in a row, except for when I was putting this together, I had decided that I was totally happy doing new things. You're bringing your same elbow towards your same knee, one side and then the other. This is something I normally do as a strength exercise. So really thinking about pulling in your core, thinking about bringing your knee up as high as you can, really squeezing and crunching there in the middle, off to the side using your obliques. But because this one is a strength exercise, I almost always go too fast. I thought, hey, what if we called this kind of a cardio move today? Here's 10 seconds of rest. Coming up next, we're doing those alley ups. Again, feet a little bit wider than normal. As we pivot to one side, hands come up, and then we pivot the other way, a little bit of a bend in that back knee. If you like to, I mean, for reals, if you like lunging, oh my gosh, go ahead and get into a full lunge. Enjoy yourself. Anything that feels good to you, well, okay, just because it feels good to you doesn't mean that it's moderate. So I'm going to have you check in. Does this feel good and moderate, or just good? Because sometimes it feels good to push myself a little bit past moderate. Here's 10 seconds of rest. But that doesn't always feel good the next day. Coming up next, we're doing those oblique crunches. For the second and final time, going to have your hands on your shoulders, elbows out wide, reaching that same elbow towards that same knee, bringing up out to the side. This is, honestly, it's one of my least favorite ways to move because my hips don't generally move out to the side like this, but I'm finding that as my obliques get stronger and stronger, my hips, my hip bones, my hip joints don't pop like they used to. My friends, the benefits of moving in different planes of motion, moving different ways with different exercises, or even the same exercises, here's 10 seconds of rest, can bring all kinds of benefits that you didn't know were coming. When it beeps again, we're doing punch, punch, kick, which is exactly what it sounds like. We're gonna punch with one hand, punch with the other hand. Here we go, punch, punch, and kick, and then punch, and kick the other way. I like to go across my body, whichever way you got started, which for me, for years, was incorrect. Feel free to punch and kick in whatever way makes the most sense to you and your body. Sometimes in small doses, it feels amazing to do something different or to really think about where your body is in space and time. And sometimes it's really okay, 10 seconds of rest, to just do what your body is gonna do, because your body's kind of gonna do what it's gonna do anyways. When it beeps again, we're doing curtsy curls. So your elbows are gonna be locked in nice and tight to your waist here. I'm not coming down in a full curtsy lunge as previously discussed in the lunge conversation. I just like giving my back knee a little bit of a bend. You're gonna step back and out to the side while doing curls with your arms. Again, a strength move that I invariably find myself doing too fast when I'm doing this as a strength move. So I thought to myself, hey self, why don't we decide to make this a cardio move today? Now the thing about being decisive, if that is a good feeling for you, here's 10 seconds of rest. Coming up next, we're gonna do those punch, punch, kicks again. If that is a good feeling for you, then any kind of a thought that has you, here we go, punch, punch, and kick, any kind of a thought that creates for you a feeling of decisiveness is going to be a helpful thought. As it happens, I love being decisive. I don't find it difficult most of the time. Every now and again, I'll find myself dithering, and I don't always know why, and it always bothers me, because generally speaking, I'm a very decisive person. I know pretty quickly what I want, why I want it, whether or not I can have it, all those kinds of things. It's not a problem for me, here's 10 seconds of rest, to be decisive. When it beeps again, we're doing those curtsy curls. So I love the feeling of making a decision, being decisive, being certain that it's what I want, because if it's not, I'll make another decision. Frankly. So for me, being decisive feels amazing. For me, I have decided is a phenomenally helpful feeling, or thought rather. And what happens with that, really specifically for weight loss, the reason I even brought this up today, is because I have a favorite dessert that I love to eat. And I'm noticing lately that my favorite dessert doesn't love me the way I love it. Here's 10 seconds of rest. And when it beeps again, we're doing high knee twists, which is exactly what it sounds like. Gonna have our weights right here at the middle, and we're going to bring up one high knee while we twist into it one way and then the other. One high knee at a time. This one, you can get going as fast as you like. Whatever feels good to you, whatever feels good and moderate to you, whatever you think is still gonna feel good tomorrow. Which means not too sore, able to work out, able to have enough energy after this workout that you can get on with your day and have a fabulous day. So the thing about my dessert that I love, that doesn't love me anymore, is I was really dithering about making a choice about it. In my heart, I was like, here's 10 seconds of rest. And coming up next, we're doing ding dongs. So hands and one foot swinging one way, and then hands and one foot swinging the other way. Not going over your head, but honestly, getting rocking pretty high by the time we get moving in with this one. I like to call these Weeble Wobbles, because we weeble and we wobble, and hopefully we don't fall down. If you think you're gonna fall down, make it a little bit smaller move. So the thing about my dessert is I didn't want to give it up. I really didn't. I still don't. So I was making all these different decisions, like, okay, I'm never going to have this dessert again. And then of course I did, because I wanted it. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to make any decisions. And so then I was having it every day and I felt miserable. I was like, you know what, my body just doesn't like this anymore. So I finally decided, actually decided, here's 10 seconds of rest. Coming up next, we're doing those high knee twists. Again, this pair of exercises one more time. I finally decided, really truly decided. I sat down and I thought to myself, what is something I can live with? Here's my high knee twists again. What is something I can actually live with? What is something that would feel good to my body, or if not feel good, then not feel bad to my body? And what is something that I think, just mentally and emotionally, that I could live with? So I decided, firmly decided, I eat this dessert on Fridays and Saturdays. It's like a treat. It's here's the end of the week. I know we're gonna have a different kind of a routine on the weekends than we do on the week. Here's 10 seconds of rest. So Fridays and Saturdays is when I eat this dessert. When it beeps again, we're doing those ding dongs. And I tell you what, as soon as I actually decided with the information, here we go with ding dongs, that, okay, I'm satisfying my mental and emotional needs, I'm satisfying my physical needs. At some point in the future, if my body is like, hey, even Fridays and Saturdays, is this too much for this? I don't like it anymore. Then I can make another decision. But in the meantime, I'm not every single day after dinner thinking to myself, what am I gonna have? Am I gonna have that dessert? Am I not gonna have that dessert? Well, unless it is Friday or Saturday, I'm not. And that is such a helpful thought for me. Here's 10 seconds of rest. Coming up next, we're doing punch down, tap outs. It's exactly what it sounds like. We're gonna punch down, and as we punch down, we're gonna tap out one foot to the side, and then the other foot to the side. Today, because I knew that we had our light weights in hands, I was trying really hard not to have too many overhead kind of exercises. I knew, even with the 10 seconds of rest, 30 seconds is a long enough interval, having light weights in our hands, a tough enough amount of work, that this kind of a workout can feel difficult to moderate. So I decided when we first got started that I was going to keep it moderate no matter what. Here's 10 seconds of rest. This is how feeling decisive, thinking to yourself, I have decided. By the way, when it beeps again, oh, we're doing peekaboo side kicks. Peekaboos with our hands, which is normally a lovely strength exercise. I decided that this would actually be really pleasant to do with light weights and 30-second intervals. Because sometimes when we're doing strength workouts, you know I give us longer intervals sometimes. This is meant to be a treat. We'll decide whether or not it actually is when we're done with this 30 seconds. When it beeps again, of course, we're getting that 10 seconds of rest. My friends, you can decide. Here's 10 seconds of rest. When it beeps again, we're doing those punch down tap outs again. You can decide at any point in time what you're going to do with your routine. Here we go with those punch down tap outs. I decided that I love eating the breakfast that I eat, so I eat it every single day. You can decide that you're gonna have something different for breakfast every single day, but maybe it's always gonna fit within a certain number of calories. Breakfast itself can be different, but it's always going to clock in. I'm not even gonna give you a number, because whatever the number is gonna be relevant to you and not to everybody. There's no such thing as a 1 calories fits all kind of a situation. But you can decide, here's 10 seconds of rest. Coming up next, we're doing those peekaboo side kicks again. You can decide right now that this is the kind of way that you're going to manage your calories for the day. Rather than, here we go with those peekaboo side kicks, rather than every single day trying to decide in the moment, oh my gosh, what should I have for breakfast? How much of it should I have? What should I do with that? And what will that do to the rest of my day? You know, when we get ourselves in these situations where we have not made a decision, have you ever noticed how much mental energy it takes to be indecisive? This is why I notice it. I really notice it when I haven't made a decision, because I'm, generally speaking, here's 10 seconds of rest, generally speaking, quite good at making decisions. When it beeps again, we're doing deadlift jacks. So we are going hands above head, which means that you're really gonna think about how fast or slow you are moving. A deadlift jack used to be called forward hinge arm flappers, and I have permanently changed the name, except for the fact that I'm probably, for a while yet, still gonna remind both of us that it used to have a different name. You know, I called them that for years and years, but really love this decision to call them deadlift jacks now, because it makes so much more sense to me. Being decisive about it means, here's 10 seconds of rest, that I don't have to think about it every single time I make a workout. Okay, when it beeps again, we're doing big arm side shuffles, another one of my favorite exercises. I really did pack all the new exercises into one space. Here we go with big arm side shuffles, making a nice big circle right in front of you while we're shuffling from side to side. I think, if I remember correctly, I decided, oh yeah, I want to make sure that I have some new exercises. That'll be super fun. And then I came up with those new exercises, and then I was like, okay, I also want to make sure that I can do this whole workout without not knowing what I'm doing. Make sure that you've got your core pulled in as we're getting hands up above head and really swooping with some momentum here. Really feeling that in my abs and obliques. Here's 10 seconds of rest. Coming up next, doing those deadlift jacks for the second and final time. The thing about making a decision is it is within your power to make all of the decisions about your weight loss journey, or some of the decisions. I'm going to encourage you to at least make some. Because truly that energy of being undecided and spending, in my opinion, and it is just an opinion, but in my opinion, not knowing what I'm going to eat, when I'm going to drink my water, what time I'm going to go to bed, when I'm going to do my workout, what the workout's going to be, that mental energy, here's 10 seconds of rest, to me is exhausting. I already know what my week looks like. I've already planned it all out. I already know what I'm going to be eating. Here we go with those big arm side shuffles. I have already made so many decisions about my week. Now for some people might use the phrase, plan ahead. You want to know something funny? You know why today's helpful thought wasn't, I'm good at planning? Because that word, plan, throws me off every time. Somebody asks me to make a plan and I'm like, nope, can't do it. Don't know how. Really bad at planning. Can't plan ahead. Can't think about the future. Here's 10 seconds of rest. Coming up next, we're doing dancing X's. Hands are wide, feet are wide, bringing your opposite elbow towards your opposite knee. Now, as it happens, I'm great at planning ahead. Do not like the word plan. Don't like it at all. For whatever reason, and I'm sure I could figure out the reason. If I sat down with my journal, I could probably ask myself, hey, what's wrong with the word plan? Why don't you like that? And I bet my brain would offer me an answer. Haven't done that mindset work yet, but I will tell you, I love thinking about making decisions. My friends, when in doubt, work with your brain rather than against it. There are plenty of ways. Here's 10 seconds of rest. Coming up next is cans. And I know you can't see it, but I will tell you that on my whiteboard, I wrote cans. Here's a knee and a kick on one side and a knee and a kick on the other. And it cracks me up. I have no idea why I wrote that. I think must have been thinking about something else when I wrote it down. It's just regular cans. There's nothing extra about them except that you can do them for sure. Decide or plan, whichever one works better for you. There is always, this is why this is why a thesaurus exists. Here's 10 seconds of rest. Coming up next, we're doing those dancing X's again. There is a synonym for almost every word in the English language, or whatever language you use natively. There's another word for a word that doesn't feel helpful for you. In fact, even the word helpful. You guys, I talk all the time about whether or not your thoughts are helpful or unhelpful. Maybe even that phrase doesn't sit well with you. Maybe you'd prefer to say something else. For me personally, I love being helpful. Being helpful, it's my job. I love it. I love helping you. I love helping you figure out what's helpful for you. That word to me, here's 10 seconds of rest, it brings on like the best feelings. Maybe for you, helpful doesn't feel helpful. When it beeps again, we're doing those cans, because you can. And I want you to really think about that. Every time I offer you a helpful thought, I tell you, hey, this one might not be helpful for you. The way to find out is to feel how you feel. Like really tune in. Does that feel good? Does that feel bad? If it feels good, it's a helpful thought. If it feels bad, or even if it feels kind of meh, kind of neutral, it might not be helpful for you. And that means that you have the opportunity to decide or plan to use a different word. Really turn it over in your mind. Here's 10 seconds of rest. Okay. Whew, doggies. Yeah, we got sweaty, didn't we? Coming up next, it's our last pair of exercises. We're doing diving airplanes. Hands out to the side. We're diving to one side, diving to the other, kicking up one foot, the opposite of the way that you are leaning is the foot that you are kicking up behind you. If you'd rather not kick up a foot, my friend, don't feel like you need to. I used to not have a foot as part of this exercise. I had somebody send me a message. I don't remember where. I think it was email even, which is really funny. That must have been a while ago. I think somebody emailed me and was like, oh, every time we do those airplanes, I always kick up my back foot and have fun with it. Here's 10 seconds of rest when it beeps again. Chicken wing, high knees. My friends, your weights are gonna go right underneath your chin. Elbows are gonna flap like chicken wings, and we're gonna bring up one high knee at a time. This one always feels so awkward, but I feel like we look exactly like chickens when we do this, because chickens are awkward. You ever notice that? Chickens are an awkward animal. So, you guys, this is our last pair of exercises. You can decide right now that you had a great workout. In fact, you could have decided before you even started this workout that you were gonna have a great workout. You could decide right now that tomorrow's workout is gonna be great, the day after is gonna be great, that your every workout for the rest of your life is going to be amazing and just right. Here's 10 seconds of rest. By the way, when it beeps again, we're doing those diving airplanes for the second and final time. Here we go, hands out to the side. Or you could plan for it. Or, can I come up with another word that means decisive or planned? I can't, not right now. Thinking ahead, maybe? Oh gosh. Oh, thinking ahead, no. No. This is actually something I have discovered in my journal before. I have discovered that thinking of myself as somebody who is strategic, because as a business owner, I do have to be strategic. Here's 10 seconds of rest. But that word fills me with butterflies. Just when it beeps again, we're doing those chicken wing high knees for the second and final time. So rather than thinking of myself as strategic, even though I am completely capable, I can look ahead. I know what I want to say, when I want to say it, when the message needs to go out, what kind of videos or photos I need to put that message out on social media. Like, I'm very strategic, but also, no, I'm decisive. I'm excellent at making decisions. You guys, when it beeps again, we are done. We are not finished. So we're gonna get that 10 seconds of rest. Whew. Doggies, and then I've got one final exercise for us, which is a little bit of balance and a whole lot of abs. We're gonna do 3-point crunches, really thinking about pulling in your core. Gonna have your hands on your shoulders, elbows out wide, and then as they come in, we're gonna bring up one high knee at a time. We're gonna crunch into that high knee. Squeeze and crunch. Take plenty of time here hanging with that one foot up. This is balance work. In fact, I'm gonna slow this way down. I started to treat it a lot like cardio, like I do sometimes. We're only gonna do one interval of this, so you guys, the next time it beeps, we will be better than done. Whew, we will be finished. You have done such an amazing job today. You decided that it was gonna be amazing, and it was. Go ahead and put your weights down, 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 and let's cool this. Down, 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 because we can. With some nice big arm circles. My friends, you just never know where the conversation's gonna go, do you? I hope you had a good time today. This one felt like the exact right amount of sweaty. I decided just now that I really liked that 30-second interval. That actually felt really doable today, and I also really liked the 10 seconds of rest. We don't have to always treat a workout that has rest like some HIIT workout, like we gotta go hard. We can just take it nice and moderately, and that moderate effort every day, consistently, is the thing that's gonna get us to our weight loss goals. My friends, let's go ahead and open it up nice and wide. And then, you know what we're gonna do next? We're gonna close it up. Give yourself a hug and a pat on your sweaty back. Oh my gosh, you did such a good job today. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so glad that you're here working out with me. You guys, this is the beginning of another 5-day workout series, number 46 through number 50. It's almost like it's September or something. I don't know how that happened, but it does. I've got 5 days in a row of 5 brand new, fabulous workouts that you can repeat. And in fact, if you are watching this on repeat, you maybe have done this several times. But I enjoy the beginning of a new week when we've got all kinds of new possibilities. I have decided that I love the feeling of possibility. And also, hey, make sure that you decide to subscribe before you go, and I'll see you tomorrow.